What's good with you people? It's your boy Truth Tella Young Skills and welcome to True Sessions. Today I'll be going over my track entitled Beautiful. Now, I'm only going to be focusing on how to get your main vocals to sit better in your mix. Without further ado, let's get into what you came to view. Welcome back to True Sessions. So today, like I said, I'm going to be going over how to get your main vocal to sit in your mix a lot better. Things I wish I would have known when I first started this mixing journey. And I swear it's a never-ending journey. As soon as you feel like you know something, bam, more information. Or you have to unteach yourself some of the techniques you might have thought was working over time so that your actual style can get better. But with all of that out of the way, let you listen to what we're going to be doing today. This track is entitled Beautiful. It will be available on streaming platforms really soon. I just want to get the cover completed, and I have to get the storyboard for the music video done, and then I'm going to release it. I want to release this a little bit different than how I've been releasing music. But let you listen to what it sounds like. With the effects on, and then I'm actually going to take the effects completely off and walk you through step by step how I got my main vocal to sit in my mix this way. Hey, Soup, look at her. Man, she beautiful. I bet I can get her. Man, I can get her. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Now while I'm thinking, she just walking faster. Looking back at my brother, laughing at me while I'm chasing after. I gotta make a play to make it past her. Stop her dead in her tracks, look her in her eyes and ask her, excuse me, beautiful, do you have the time? Now if she tell me, I swear to God, I know she mine. She see the watch and see my phone in hand. She tilt her head and shift the hips like, are you serious, man? But baby girl, you must be new in town, cause I ain't seen a girl like you around. You're beautiful. I want to go over the first verse and let me show you what I did to get that to sit in the mix, how it's sitting in the mix. Let's start taking effects off. As you can see, I had my SSL. We're taking everything off. Yes, I want to remove it. It's asking me, am I sure I want to do this to my own track for the sake of this video? Yes. Now, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to take the buses off. I'm going to explain what's going on with these buses in 1 second. But now let you hear the verse without the effects on it. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Yo, what's up? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Yeah. Let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Now, as you can hear, it sounds like there's no verse there. You hear faint double ups. I like my double ups extremely far in the back. So what I had to do is first, let's get it back to a level where we can hear the verse. Now, before you even start mixing, one thing that you should do is give yourself some headroom. And how do you do that? You go to your beat and you put a trim on it, or you put some type of limiter to where you can bring your beat down. I like to bring mine down by 10 dB, depending on if it's a beat with samples or a lot of high-pitched notes or something that's crazy in the high range. Then sometimes I might have to cut it down to 12. Nonetheless, whatever you cut this beat down, however low you cut your beat down, you'll be able to make it back up on your master bus. So don't worry. You may have to get a couple of effects. Don't be cheap, just get the effects. Let's cut it back up so we can hit a verse without effects on it. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second. Now, off the rip, you can tell that it's muddy, a little boofy. My booth is very dead, so I need to get some more reflective surfaces in there. But until then, a way to combat that is with this SSL channel. So I'm just going to go through, set everything. You could copy my settings, but what I learned is no two vocals are the same. So if you just copy my settings that you see here, it may not sound as good on your voice. So always learn how to use the equipment before you just start copying settings and making that your final decision. So we're gonna cut some of this frequency. We're gonna cut it about around 70. That's where I find it's good for my vocal. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Ha. Now while I'm thinking, she just walking faster. Looking back at my brother laughing at me while I'm chasing after. I gotta make a play to make it past her. Stop her dead in her tracks, look her in her eyes and ask her, excuse me, beautiful, do you have the time? Now if she tell me, I swear to God, I know she mine. She see the watch and see my phone in hand. She tilt her head and shift the hips like, are you serious, man? Baby girl, you must be new in town. Now one thing I was doing is I was going back to my double ups and just checking to see how far off I am with my sound, because right around this is my sweet spot for my vocal. And I like how I rolled off some of my lows. I should boost some of my low mid frequency just a tad bit. My high mid frequencies, I boost those. I boost my high frequencies, and that's pretty much how I use it. My compression ratios, it should be 2:1, so put that at 2. And that's how I like my settings. You know, that's pretty much it. Sometimes I cut the analog off. I saw that on a YouTube video. I really can't tell the difference, but I probably need to listen a little bit harder so I can tell the difference with it on and off. Some people, a friend of mine, he likes to use the expander. I don't use that, or the gate. I don't use that. I use it in other effects. So let's hear it now. Let's hear how the vocal changed. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Now what? I'm gonna take it off in case you didn't hear me. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. You hear how it just came to life? That's what you need to go for. Now that we brighten some things up and cut some of the low frequency out, it sounds a little bit louder, so I tend to start to bring it down, because if it's too loud, I just can't master it when it's so loud. Next thing I like to use is my Auto-Tune Pro. So if you have Auto-Tune, first and foremost, you're a very dope person. But secondly, then you already know like what it does to the vocal. And I'm gonna show you how I use the Auto-Tune on my vocal. I don't necessarily go for a T-Pain effect. I have a little preset that I came up with that I like, but I always go back and change it a little bit depending on what song I'm working on. So let's take a listen. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Now I'm probably gonna cut my retune speed down just a tad bit, because to me, I can hear a little bit of the T-Pain effect going on. I don't want that right now. So let me cut this to about there. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Next thing I want to do is I want to add another instance of Auto-Tune. Now, with this Auto-Tune, I like the settings in this a whole lot. It has a lot of different things that it does to the vocals. It brings out different ranges. The ones that I feel like I like the most, I saved it and then I tweaked a couple of things about it. So the next thing that I like to put on my vocal is a de-esser, because at this point I'm hearing the S's way too loud, so I have to control them somehow. This is the standard de-esser that comes with Pro Tools. I used to love it. The de-esser that I've chosen to go with and that I will be using is this de-esser, which I think you should get. It's part of the, I don't know what bundle I got this with. I bought some bundle. The reason I like this a lot is because on the first pass, I use the assist and I let it choose the level of de-esser that should be applied for this vocal. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Ha. Now while I'm thinking, she just walking faster. Looking back at my brother laughing at me while and then I apply the correct amount, and then I go back and listen again. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Ha. Now while I'm thinking, she just walking faster. Looking back at my brother laughing at me while I'm chasing after. I gotta make a play to make it past her. Stop her dead in her tracks, look her in her eyes and ask her, excuse me, beautiful, do you have the time? Now if she tell me now I'ma back the threshold off a little bit because it's catching too much of my word. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Ha. Now while I'm thinking, she just walking faster. Looking back at my brother laughing at me while I'm chasing after. I gotta make a play to make it past her. Stop. And what I was looking for is when I said chasing after. At first, when I let the AI choose the level of de-esser that should be applied, it took too much of chasing after out to where you couldn't even tell that word was chasing. So I backed it off a little bit. Beautiful thing, beautiful thing. Something else that I put on my vocals that I was so excited to get is my LA2A. So I abuse it. But with this, it boosts my vocal to a level to where I can actually cut my vocal down and I can still hear it clearly. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Ha. So now that we have the LA2A on the vocal, the last thing that I like to do, and it's just for this song. I don't always do this particular order to every song, but I like to put my mic mod effect on my main vocal for this song. And I like to switch my mic to the Sony C800G. If you know about that mic, then you know. But if you don't know about that mic, that is a very expensive mic. That's literally my dream mic. If you like me as a person and you want to be my best friend in the whole wide world, give me that mic. No, but that's pretty much all I did for this vocal. I put my mic mod effect on it. Now, let's get to what I said I was going to explain to you earlier. I also bust my vocals out. So let's listen to it now so you can hear what it sounds like. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Ha. Now while I'm thinking, she just walking faster. Looking back at my brother. Now, I like that vocal for its clarity, but to me, it still sounds low. And not because I cut it down. Because if I cut it up, it's just going to sound loud. And what I mean by that is I want more dynamic range out of my vocal versus it just being cut up loud. So how do I, well, me personally, I achieve that by busting my vocal out. So I bust my vocal out to a aux channel and I label that channel bus 1, 1 and 2. And I use several buses, so I have 1 through 10. And all that really is just 5 aux stereo channels. And on my sends, I send it to bus 1. And on this bus effect, I'm using the LA2A, my favorite effect in the world right now. Probably because I just got it and I was late to the party, but I'm here and I'm jamming, so I love it. So after I put the bust LA2A on the vocal, it boosted, but in a dynamic way versus just making it loud. So I'm gonna let you hear that. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid, and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game. Now you heard that jump? That jump is a great thing. Now I can shape my vocal a little bit better, and it's just this track that I'm utilizing these tools this way. I always do it different on different tracks, and sometimes when I go back and I listen to the mix and I find something I love, I can always recreate it, but I tend to do different techniques for different tracks. So this is the technique for this specific track. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid, and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Ha. Now while I'm thinking, she just walking faster. Looking back at my brother, laughing at me while I'm chasing after. I gotta make a play to make it past her. Stop her dead in her tracks, look her in her eyes and ask her, excuse me, beautiful, do you? Now, one thing that I always do is subtractive EQing, but like I said, I tried to do something different with this track. So on my next bus, I did my subtractive EQing, and then I did some additional EQ just to give it a little bit of flavor on the high end and roll off, a little bit more of that boxiness in a low end that you really never need, ever. I'm gonna let you listen to that. I'm gonna bring that in. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid, and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Ha. Now while I'm thinking, she just walking faster. Looking back at my brother, laughing at me while I'm chasing after. I gotta make a play to make it past her. Stop her dead in her tracks, look her in her eyes and ask her, excuse me, beautiful, do you have the time? Now if she tell me, I swear to God, I know she mine. Now with that EQ, that subtractive EQ, and then adding that little bit of high end on it, it gave my voice so much character. It added a little bit of raspiness to it. It also, when I added some air in my EQ, it allowed that that breathiness. You can hear that. The next thing I always do is some delay or reverb. In this case, I'm using the H delay. It's a super dope effect. It allows you to pretty much sync the effect with the tempo of the beat. I don't always use it that way. I like to either put it on an eighth note or a quarter note. But sometimes if I want a little bit of effect like reverb or just something spacey, all you have to do is cut up your high pass. Cut up your high pass, and it's this knob right here. Just cut that up, and it's going to give you such a spacey, out of this world sound. It's not always good, but just for certain parts of the song, it's great. So now with some of the delay in it. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid, and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Ha. Now while I'm thinking, she just walking faster. Looking. And a dope fact about busting out your vocals. The reason why you want to bust out your vocals, let's say you're working on a computer and you don't have a lot of operating space. Instead of using these 4 plugins on each channel, that's 4 more channels that you're using per vocal, which could 4, 8, 12, 16, it can keep going and going and going and going. Instead of using all of those effects, you can bust them out, and then you can just control how much reverb you want on your main vocal. And let's say you want that same reverb in your hook, but you want more reverb. Just cut the bus that reverb channel was sitting on, cut that bus up, and now you have more reverb versus adding or switching settings in the reverb that you put on your hook. Hopefully I didn't confuse you with that. Sorry if I confused you. If you still rocking with me, thank you. The last thing I like to do is give my vocals some space. And how do I do that? I put this amazing space effect on it. It's called a stereo shuffler, but it gives my vocal dynamic width. And with that, I'm able to sit in the left and the right speaker a lot better. So let you hear that now. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Ha. Now while I'm thinking, she just walking faster. Looking back at my brother laughing at me while I'm chasing after. I gotta make a play to make it past her. Stop her dead in her tracks, look her in her eyes and ask her, excuse me, beautiful, do you have the time? And then when I like that vocal, and I love how it's sounding right now, I will take this and I will copy the effects over. As you can see, I'll copy it to different channels where I want them applied. So for my double ups, instead of putting the mic mod effect on my double ups as my last plugin, I use my sound shuffler, my stereo shuffler, excuse me, and I just made my double up a little bit wider than my vocal, my main vocal, so it hits the left and right speakers a little bit harder and complements the words that I wanted to accent a little bit better. I did the same thing for my ad-libs. Some people say you shouldn't have your ad-libs and your double-ups as wide as I'm making them, but for this track, it really sounded good. I think it's all based on how you feel after the track is mixed. If you like those effects on it, I don't think it's wrong, a right or wrong way to use them. So now that all of that has happened and I'm satisfied with what I came up with, the last thing that I would do is start to work on my master bus. Of course, I would already have my maximum set. I like to mix in the CD mastering setting, but I like to master when I'm have everything mixed down perfectly. I switch it to pop radio limiter, and that brings out everything a lot better, so you can hear the beat. It makes the beat a lot deeper. It makes your vocals a lot wider. And the last two things I do is I put on these two dope effects. The one knob is an amazing effect, and the God particle. These are two effects that I think are must-have effects no matter what studio you're in, no matter where you at. You need these two effects. Something that I'll add, and I might just throw it on this track, is I also like to add, well, you know, I'm not going to give you that one. Tune into the next episode to see what that effect is. I might give that secret sauce out, but it was hard for me to find out that information, so I might not just give it away yet. Let me let you listen to what we came up with. I know this was a quick episode, but I really wanted to get that information out to all my engineers, all my mixing experts out there getting these tracks radio ready. This is an approach that I took on this particular track. I can't wait to show you my different techniques that I use. Hopefully one of these techniques you learn something that you could utilize in your next session, because that's the point of these shows. I want you guys to pick up something that you don't already know. And also, let's collab. If you're in the DMV area and you'd like to get your track mixed and mastered by yours truly, reach out, let's work. I go by the name of Truth Tella on Skills. I'm easy to get in contact with, but let me let you hear what we came up with so far. I'ma approach her like, yo, what's up? How you doing? Man, that's stupid and she probably keep it moving. Okay, on second thought, let me get my game together. I'm a smooth operator, kicking game whenever. Ha. Now while I'm thinking, she just walking faster. Looking back at my brother laughing at me while I'm chasing after. I gotta make a play to make it past her. Stop her dead in her tracks, look her in her eyes and ask her, excuse me, beautiful, do you have the time? Now if she tell me, I swear to God, I know she mine. She see the watch and see my phone in hand. She tilt her head and shift the hips like, are you serious, man? Baby girl, you must be new in town, cause I ain't seen a girl like. And there you have it, people. That's how you get your vocals to sit in your beat, in your mix a lot better. Hopefully you got some jewels from today's episode. Leave a comment. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend. And until we meet again, stay safe and be blessed. Peace.
Truth Tella.